Hey, I'm Kev, Mr. Kerr. Welcome back to Automobilista and a race in the Copa Montana around the Santa Cruz do Sol circuit with the settings that you've seen on the screen. Now, as we have a rolled-in start and against this AI, hopefully we can make some positions on this opening lap, or we can fall back as it looks like on our inside. We've got some challenges. Let's talk about this very challenging circuit on this opening lap as we brake heavily to the first corner, down the second gear, very cautious from the AI. Oh, I said very cautious. Then the number 10 truck tries to hit us off, but now we go through the far chicane. Oh, very tight with a truck alongside you, but normally you can take that flat out in third or fourth gear. It's a very exciting corner. That right-hander wasn't, but this left-hander is. It goes on forever. But we really hooked up the inside, made back our position that we lost at the start. Get on the power early through this right-hander, get a run down this back straight. Hopefully can make a move into the left-hander coming up, or just hit the back of the AI. They're very cautious on this opening up as you go into the left-hand and in the right-hand hairpin. You don't really need to do any braking, just let the engine braking do it for you to slow down the truck as you go through the right-hand sweeper up to third gear, short shift to keep the stability so we can get on the power early for these sweeping left and right-hand bends. As you've got to play with the throttle here, you've got to get on it early and heavy. And then through the right-hander, this slight lift. I want to hit the curbs on the right-hand side. Then the penultimate corner brake. Just as that curb appears on the left-hand side, and then just let the truck roll onto the apex. And then into the final corner, just a slight lift. Don't brake like the AI in front. And then get on the power early and heavy. Use the curbs on the right-hand side. And that is a lap. Santa Cruz do Sol circuit. A circuit I haven't really driven before I did this race in Games.kart Stream or Automobilista, but I really do like this track. As you can see, it's a bit of a challenge. It's a bit typical of all the Brazilian circuits in this game, where they're just very challenging circuits. You've got to be so precise, not like that right corner, left hand side. Thanks for that position you have gifted us through that chicane. But yeah, you just got to be very precise, because if you go off it, well, what is there? There's grass, there's gravel, there's walls that are quite close. You're going to be hitting something if you go off. So especially in that middle sector where you've got those high speed sweepers, you just got to be in control of the car, and that is a bit trickier said than done, which I found with this Copa Montana car. And against the AI on that first lap, you saw they're a bit unpredictable, a bit cautious, and that's why it took me a couple of goes to actually record this race. As yeah, that's a feature of probably every racing game with AI, though. They are a bit unpredictable on the first lap, but in general these AI pretty good to race against. Maybe I should have turned up the aggression. Has medium AI aggression, as you see in this race. Not that good at attacking me. They're good at racing each other, but not racing me. So yeah, maybe I should have turned it up a notch. And against 100% AI strength, I thought that was good. In practice that was kind of my speed. It turns out I kind of turned it up a notch for this race, and so maybe it should have been like 100% AI strength, as there's some aggression in my wing mode. That was some nice moves from the blue car. Is he going to make it stick? Oh, not quite against the right car. He's just having a bit of a mare and he's opening laps, as we're kind of settled in the lower arches of the top 10. But hopefully we've got to make some moves soon, as I get a feeling that front pack's going to just move away from us, and we don't want that to happen. Of course, as you can see, there they are. They're already got about a second or two gap building on us behind. As we're taking a look down the inside, a bit desperate move there. We're a bit too far back, but that is our main overtaking spot in this race, as we can get a great run out of that sweeping left-hand bend, that long left-hand bend. Get on the power early, sweep through that right hand, and get the slipstream down that back straight. And then, of course, this is the first corner as well. If I get a good run out of the last corner, I don't brake there. You get on the power early, get in that slipstream. We can go lunge down the inside of the AI into that left-hander. And then, of course, there's that long left-hand bend as well. If I get a good run through the chicane, which is kind of my main strength against the AI. I can take that flat. The AI a bit less, a bit more cautious through that corner. I don't really take it flat out. So the first sector, that's where I'm taking time. The last sector about equal. And in the middle sector, depending on how good I am, it's either, take some time or lose some time to the AI. And so that's going to set up against the AI this race. So you're going to see in this first corner, yeah, a bit better on the brakes, but look at that caution through that chicane. So you have to check up for the truck in front, and it looks like we're not quite close enough to make a move. The block in the inside. Can we drift the car there? Can we slot it in? We're trying. There's not enough room, but maybe we can get a good run out of this corner. Get on the power early as we're looking to the outside for the next corner. Looking to the inside now. We're alongside. We're braking. You've got to be careful braking into this left-hander. There's kind of a bump there. You want to brake just before that. If you brake on the bumper after, well, you're in trouble. You're going wide. You're not going to take the next hairpin as you would like. That right-hander, where that's a corner which is so dependent on how you take that left-hander. You know, if you take the left-hander well, you don't really have to do much braking into that right-hander. Just let the truck just flow through that corner. But if you get it a bit wrong, well, it's going to be a very messy right-hander, and then you're going to be struggling into the next right-hander, and then into these corners. You can kind of make it up again if you really get it right. As that truck didn't on the exit of that right-hander. Now we got some clear air. Now we can maybe gain on the trucks in front. And I think I've done enough talking for the moment. Let's hear these trucks roar around this track. Hope you enjoyed that lap of the track. As you saw in clean air, we could push, and now we set the fastest lap of the race by about a second. So yeah, probably should have upped the AI difficulty from 100 to maybe like 105%. As you can see, in the space of a lap and a bit, we have already caught up to the front three, and we've got around half of the race to go. So this should be a pretty good battle for the second half of the race. Our first half of the race just about, clawing up from our 9th position starting spot. Now we're going to be battling for the podium and hopefully for the win as well. And as you saw on that these trucks are pretty good fun, to drive. It took me a while to get used to the weight of these trucks, because I'm used to driving the kind of Formula V10, which I've driven quite a lot recently, driving the Formula cars, the F3, and they're a bit lighter. And they might not be as powerful, like in the F3, a bit similar, in that power, but yeah, these trucks are just a bit heavier and a bit more cautious. You have to be with the accelerator, with the brake. You can wheel hop, quite easily. That's lock up, and cause the wheel to cause your truck to just go through the braking zone and into the runoff or the grass, and so. Yeah, you have to be very careful under braking with these trucks, particularly with the I got the default brakes with the TX, and not the best brakes, and so I've got to be very cautious with my braking foot there, just to be very gentle on the brakes. Don't really fully push down the brake pedal, just to make sure it's around 70% down, and then be very careful feeding in the throttle, because it's so easy losing these trucks, especially over the curbs, which has been a bit of a problem, unfortunately, in GameStop Car Extreme, especially, with the Formula cars. It was impossible to ride the curbs with those single-seaters, and in Automobilista, it seems to be improving with every patch, as that was a bit of a dive there. We locked up majorly, as I was just talking about braking. That's not what you're meant to do, but, we made up the position and up into 3rd place. Now we can chase the front too, and yeah, it's, you know, tackling the curbs in these games, you know, hasn't been the best, but it keeps improving. And there's a patch coming soon, I believe, where it's Niels who does the physics for these games. In one of his talking drives, he was just showing off the Formula Extreme around Canada, I think it was, and he's really attacking the track, attacking the curbs as well, which is really important around the track. And it seems like they have really improved their curb game going forward, and so hopefully that future update will be a bit better over the curves. But in this race, in this truck, I really couldn't touch the curbs, especially in the high speed corners. If I touched them, well, I was really going to go wide. So I will show you that right at the end of this race, what happens. But for this time being, that makes that fast chicane very, you know, tricky. You really got to hit the curbs right there. But oh, we're right on the back of the top two. They really are battling hard as well. We're making it a three-way fight. Looks like 4th has dropped back slightly, but yeah, you got to be very careful with the brakes. We're getting on the power of these trucks, and you know, that's why I'm short shifting in a couple of corners through that right-hander there, through the right-hander that you will see coming after this hairpin. I short shift to get the stability, because if I took that in 2nd gear, it's so easy for the back end just to swing round, and with these trucks there's so much weight, you know, on the back. You know, it's just a very slow pendulum, and and there's nothing you can really do. You're just going to slowly spin around. You can't really fight the car like you could maybe perhaps do with a single seater. You're just waiting for the car to turn around and then, you know, face the wrong way, and then you're going to take another 10 seconds to get it spun around and get going again. So these aren't really vehicles that you really do save if you lose them, and so yeah, as I say, it's very important to be in control of these vehicles at all time. Be very patient on the brakes, on the gas, and with the steering as well. I don't want too much steering, as I said, maybe to touch the curbs, and you know, you've got to be very ultra precise with these trucks. But I do quite enjoy driving these trucks. Again, it's just another kind of variable in this game where it has so many variables. This game, you know, you have the single seaters, the F1 cars, you have the F3 cars, you have the Minis, the Camaros, you have the off-road racing now with the Lancia, with the Mitsubishi, with the touring cars, with the trucks now, and of course there's the popular mod, you know, Kart Extreme, which I've shown you on this channel. You know, and that gives you the Indy cars from the late 90s, or the kart cars from the late 90s. Those 900 brake horsepower, you know, not much downforce going on there, and they are just wonderful fun, and it really is a part of the game. Really, it's almost like Reza standard. That mod is fantastic, and of course there's so many mods out there for this game as well. Apart from cars, there's, you know, there's loads of tracks as well from, you know, Patrick in particular, who does a superb job of updating all the tracks for Automobilista recently. And so yeah, this game has lots on offer, and these trucks are just a very small part of it, and there's still updates coming down the line. In the last patch recently, they just added, you know, a new karting facility, which will hopefully get on. I haven't done karting in Automobilista, so you know, hopefully I'll be able to show you that soon. And yeah, it's just, you know, a wonderful game with lots of possibilities. It really is my go-to sim at the moment, along with, you know, Dirt Rally for the rally side, and the rally cross, and the hill climb side of things. So we're on to the last few laps of the race, and we're still in 3rd place. We've just been sitting here, haven't we? We've just been in that pattern where, oh, should we go for it? There's no real space. Let's just hold back slightly for a couple of laps, and now we're going to be attacking as we're on to, I think we're on to the final lap, or the penultimate lap. I admit, I got slightly confused which lap I was on, and I thought the final lap was the penultimate lap, and that's why something happened at the end, as you're about to see, as we make a move around the outside. Can we make it too wide? Oh yes, we can. We can just about hold on in this Copa Montana truck, and I actually haven't spoken about the series that this Copa Montana truck is in, or was in, from 2010 to 2012. It was the 2nd tier to the stock cars, which started all this game off. The stock car V8s, they were the 2nd tier to those stock cars in Brazil. Began in 1993 to 1999 with the stock car Brazil B class, which was just for rookies as part of the main series, and then from 2000 it split off the stock car Brazil Light until 2007, when it changed its name to Copa Victor, and then for a couple of years before it came Montana, Copa Chevrolet Montana in 2010, with these trucks, a very different type of vehicle from those years where they were kind of basically, you know, stock car Brazil trucks. As you can see, that was the final lap. As I told you, I got confused. That's the leader. I thought this was the final lap. I'm not very good at math, I can tell you that, and yeah, I got it totally wrong. So yeah, if it was a lap for that longer, I probably could have got the win, as I will show you here on this cool down lap to the pits. But yeah, these trucks around this track, very good, and this series lasted for 3 years, from 2010 when Diego Pancecchi won with NASCAR Motorsport. That is actually a team in that series in 2010. Then Rafael Daniel won in 2011 and 2012 before. This series got replaced in 2013 with Campeonato Brasileiro de Turismo, or Brazilian touring cars, and became again like Stock Car Brazil, like cars with V8 engines, and produced by JL Racing, I believe they built these cars. But I'm just showing you here, this is why you don't go on the curbs. Look at that, going off. And I hope you enjoy that brief history of Copa Montana and Copa Chevrolet Montana even. And as I told you, these trucks are pretty good to drive. You should drive them in Automobilista if you have the game, and don't touch the curbs like I just did there. But thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.